Well, it's Friday, the 10th of March, and welcome to our Gallop Preview Show for KwaZulu-Natal. Fairview is where we're at, and we're racing on the turf track. And always a pleasure having Grant as our expert down in Port Elizabeth. And Grant, how you been playing? How are things going with the results, etc.?
Not bad at all, Deej. Not bad at all. We're getting decent feedback and decent results as well. So I can't complain. But a little bit tricky tomorrow. There's no doubt. There's a couple of hard races. So we'll have to box on and see what we can do for the punters.
Yeah, it looks tough here. Race number 1 doesn't form part of the exotics. There's 9 races carded. Get your bets on by 12:05 if you want to bank some cash in race number 1 over 1,600 meters. I'll give you the horses that are in single figures. Of course, this betting proudly brought to you by Hollywoodbets. Number 5 at 9-2. 7 is a 6-1 shot. 8 at 11-2. 9 opening ceremony is a 7-2 shot. And then 8-1, number 10, Natasha Rostov. Now, of course, Natasha Rostov, she will be debuting in Port Elizabeth. The filly, Gavin Smith trains, and JP van der Merwe will ride with 52.5 on her back. We'll keep an eye on the betting there. Opening ceremony at 7-2 is the right one at the top of the boards.
No doubt, he was very, very unlucky last time out. Couldn't get a run at a vital stage, and extra 200 meters is going to suit. And we've had early rain this week, but it's cleared up, and it's expected to be a hot day tomorrow at 29. So track should be running spot on. I don't see any excuses for opening ceremony. He's found the right race. I think he's worth a bet at 7-2, no doubt. And the horses that should follow him home, Chasing Cheetahs, Vuvuzela, Lilo, and the filly White Witch. But I'm strong on opening ceremony here, Deez.
Strong on opening ceremony to possibly bank the cash in race number 1. And I agree with Grant. Number 7, Chasing Cheetahs, on current form, does make a lot of appeal. That's Sharon Kotson and Keenan Stein. We move along to the start of the exotics, which will be the start of the bar pot, and it's race number 2, 1,600 meters, 12:35. Let's bring up the field. It's a quality race. There's conditions played for fillies and mares. And we dance, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going for 6 on the bounce. Belle of Belize, I'm sure will have followers as well, Richard Fourie and Alan Krief. So 11-10 on top, number 1, 16-10, number 2, Belle of Belize, and 3 and 4 are trading at 11-2. This filly, she's just been a revelation down in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, unbelievably good filly, this Deez. You know, she's beaten the likes of Santa Teresa twice, Ancestral Prayer. She's beaten Flame Flower, Bella Belize, and there's no ways that she should be 11-10. She should be deep in the red, right kind of field, right conditions in the race for her. Good jockey, stables in form, and we dance definitely the best bet on the card. And 11-10 is actually a bit of value, even though it doesn't sound like it. Strong first fancy, my best bet on the card. To chase her home, I think the other Sharon Kotson filly, Wings of Fire, then Bella Belize and Phoenix. But very, very strong on every dance.
1, 3, 2, and 4 could be a straight line quartet here, even a trifecta or the exactas, because Grant has found the value there at number 3, Wings of Fire. If I have to tell you to mark this filly out of 10 for the boys that want to have a go, how many would you give her?
Without a doubt, a 10, a solid 10. And those that want to push it even past that, you can go 11 and 12.
Well, that is what we want to hear from Grant. Number 1, and we dance, a good thing. One of the best bets on the card. We move along to the start of the PA at 13:05. It's over 2,000 meters. Betting in race number 3. 7-2, number 1. Number 2, 3-1. Number 3, 22-10. Number 4, 5-1. 5, 4-1. 6 at 8-1. The only horse in double figures is horse number 7, and you can clearly see why, because she hasn't shown anything to date. It looks like a very tricky start to the place accumulator. Grant, can you help us?
Yeah, it is. It's just tricky. It's not bad. It is tricky though. I make it Platinum run very good first run. Yeah, it actually surprised the yard that run. They were very, very happy with that run to Ray Van Bay. How strong that form line is, I'm not too sure. A very, very good first run from Ponderosa Pines, first time out here against the boys over a trip that was short of her best. she'll definitely enjoy the 2,000 meters, a step up to the 2,000 meters. And Racinate has been holding a bit of form. And then you've got the top filly at the top of the weights, Red Centre. But these maiden handicaps, these top-weighted fillies, especially the 3-year-olds, they seem to be battling against the horses that they're giving weight to. So I'm going here for Ponderosa Pine to beat Platinum Run, Red Centre, and Racinate.
If I have to ask you to pick one horse where there's going to be no stamina doubts and the 2,000 meters is going to be perfect, which horse would it be?
Ponderosa Pine, without a doubt.
I like that. I like your thinking there, and I'm in the corner of that horse. 22-10 on top could be a PA banker there in race number 3. We move along to race number 4, which is the start of the Pick 6. This is over 2,700 meters. It's a Pinnacle Stakes. Well, one of the few centers in the country when it comes to local racing that have these condition races over a trip, and we compliment Fairview for that. I'll give you the best weighted column. It's topped by Jaeger Moon at 100. Number 2, Peace in Our World at 98. Then we got numbers 3 and 4 at 95 and 6 Assured at 92. The way they're betting, horses in single figures: 1, 7-2, 2 at 2-1, 3 at 3-1, 4, 9-2, 5 at 8-1. It's 10-1 and better the balance. Yeah, we spoke about stamina in the previous race. Well, here we'll have to see it to the 4.
Yeah, no doubt, but there's one very good stamina horse here by the names of Barak, over 2,700 meters, massive runner. Richard Faria carrying 58. I made him one of my best bets on the card as well. There's no doubt that he'll enjoy the step up in the trip. Really loves those long trips. The 1 and the 2 have been raced recently, so I don't know how much that has taken out of them, Jaeger Moon and Peace in Our World. But I'm strong on Barak. Yeah, I think if Jacob's Ladder will run a decent race, and then obviously the 1 and the 2. But I've tipped it Barak from Peace in Our World, Jacob's Ladder, and Jaeger Moon.
Just quickly, Grant, I'm just having a look at the way the track is configured. That's a turf track. You got that 2,400 meter that's on the left side of the course, on the left elbow. 2,700 meters, is that closer to the finishing post where they begin?
Yeah, 100%. It's quite close to the finishing post in front of the grandstand, and then they go into the first turn, into the 2-4 turn. So it's just pretty much at the finishing line.
And then they got that long back straight, which is about let's call it 600-700 meters to try and get a nice position before they make their way into the straight, which is actually one of the, the fairer run-ins in the country with 800 meters.
Yeah, 100% with you, Deez. It's a very long straight. Very important that jockeys get their timing right. You get a lot of, especially when we go from poly racing over to the grass racing, the guys tend to let them go a little bit early and get found wanting the last 300 meters. But very fair track, in great shape at the moment, the track as well. And there's not going to be a problem with pace here. The pace in this 2-7 is going to be on. Barak's a solid front runner, and Richard will do the right fractions in this race.
Yeah, you can see Richard's trying to set the fraction and then trying to stretch them when he feels the others are coming up for air, because as Grant mentioned, 0 stamina doubts at horse number 3, Barak, and that's trading at 3-1, and Grant makes that a value on the card. Race number 5 over 1,900 meters. It's a classified stakes, and I will give you the horses in single figures. Yep, number 1, Bold Strike, 7-1. 2, Humble Tune, 7-1. 3, Quasimodo at 4-1. 4 is our 4-1 shot. 5 at 11-2. 7 at 7-1. This race I am very nervous about, because I tried to make some sense about it, and I came out with Kelly Mitchley's runner Quasimodo as my top choice. Nice to have Gavin Larina in town as well.
Yeah, Deez, my top choice as well. I really like this horse. I fancied him from day one when he came into the yard. He got beaten 1.25 by his on his way to the Derby. This horse is also heading toward Derby. He's a lovely horse. He's grown beautifully lately over the last month. He's not a fantastic track horse, but he looks good, and his work for him he's been pretty good as well. He's a big runner in this race. Probably my first choice. This horse light without won very, very well last time, but he is held by the turn of I see a Grelos plus in half. You'll probably have half race this time, but kind of light without. I see there is early money light without. And then also, what happened there, maybe there's that with that day the going was very, very bad, so he could also be a runner. But I'm in the camp of Quasimodo here from Osceola, light without, and Humble Tune.
Number 3, Quasimodo. 5, light without. 7, Osceola. And what was your 4th choice there?
Humble Tune, the 2, Humble Tune.
Humble Tune. So play around those numbers if you're playing a jackpot. 3, 5, 7, and 2. But both Grant and I like the look of number 3. And keep an eye on Gavin Larina. He's got some good, decent mounts on the day he visits Gqeberha. Race number 6, 1600 meters, a merit-rated 68 handicap. And here, I think all eyes are going to be on this horse who's unbeaten, called Cherry Anu, Gavin Smith and Samanga Kumalo. But the 3-year-old will have to lump 61.5 kgs. You could say that his debut was impressive. Then what he needed to do, he did last time out to get the job done over 1,400 meters. Both these wins have been over 1,400 meters. His form line's fair. The fixed odds betting market's taking no chances here. They got this horse at even money, so you're going to have to be the judge. 4 at 11 to 2, 5 at 8 to 1, 6 at 6 to 1, 8 at 7 to 1. It's 10 to 1 and better the balance. Grant, I think the question I'd like to ask here is, will you be in the camp of taking this horse on, or do you think that you'd rather just row in with him?
Dees, I'm going to be very honest with you. I think I'm going to take him on this time. I didn't last time. I thought he had the right field. He got 3 points. He's still in the same division. 61.5 is obviously a big concern, but that Keegan had to drag him over the line last time out, and that was only 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Has he had enough time to come back from it as a 3-year-old? I'm not 100% sure. I'll tell you what, this horse, the number 6, Alado's Pride, is a massive, massive runner. His last run to Blondak was very good. His previous run to Brendan James was very good. And once again, with Gavin up from a good draw, I actually think I'm slightly tilted towards Alado's Pride to beat Cherry Ano and Honest Quest.
Okay, I agree with Grant here because I actually watched the replay last time out with Cherry Anu, and you are 100% on the button. That was a ride of rides to get this horse over. He looked to be a spent force, and then somehow he just found legs over the final 100 meters to get him over the line. He's going 1,600 meters, but we're not putting you off. If you think even money is still a good price for you, go for it. But both Grant and I think this horse could be vulnerable against this type of field. That's race number 6. Race number 7 is over 1,400 meters. It's a fillies and mares 76 handicap, and this is a D division class. And as we know, with these fillies and mares and these lower division handicaps, it becomes very tricky. But maybe Grant has found one for us here. 3, Daughter of Zeus, 5 to 1. 4 is at 8 to 1. 5 at 8 to 1. 7 at 5 to 1. 9, 7 to 1, 10, 6 to 1, and then it's 10 to 1 and better the balance. Have you found us something lurking here, Grant? Do you have a fancy that's got good value? Yep, well, so wait for Grant here because race number 7, and we will try and get Grant back there. Number 4 is Rose of Bayou, and that is currently trading at 8 to 1. A horse that reeled off 3 on the bounce before disappointing last time out. And we'll see if she can bounce back to her best. Number 3, Daughter of Zeus. Well, she's at 5 to 1. She's the mount of Richard Faris. She does have a poor draw to overcome, but I think she will have followers. Dame of Flames, not the worst of form. I know that she hasn't won for some time, 252 days, but she is a horse that seldom finishes far off them, always there or thereabouts. I think Demigod, she's yet to win on the turf. All of her wins have been on the poly track. She does have a devastating turn of foot, number 7, Demigod, and at 5 to 1, if she takes to the turf this time round and can find the finish she finds on the poly track, I think she will be a massive runner there. I must pay compliments to Lunga Gila, on his first winner, which came last time out. This horse ran Vizu's Magic, and they came for this horse in a big way. They punted her, and she delivered under a driving ride by Ryan Munger. And well done to Lunga, and we wish him all the best. I think there were some very special moments when that horse came into the number 1 box there. But we'll wait for Grant. We'll catch up with him on what he likes in race number 7 as we move along to race number 8, which is over 1,000 meters. It's a fillies and mares 66 handicap. And in this race, let's see how they're betting. Number 1 at 3-1. Number 2 at 6-1. 3 is an 8-1 shot. 4, Splash of Green, is trading at 9-2. Number 7, Quick Count, is a 9-2 shot. And then it is double figures, the balance. The runner, I think, that could be a factor here. And we mentioned in the previous race, horses that don't have the performance on the turf as to their polyform. Well, this filly, the daughter of VAR, Quick Count, she's another. She's had 7 tries on the turf for just 3 places. Both her wins have been on the poly track, but I've been keeping an eye on her of late, and I think she is worth including in all bets. Number 4, Splash of Green. Well, she does come with Gauteng form. She comes with KZN form, and she was quietly fancied last time out before moving to Gqeberha when they punted her from 9-2 into 7-2, and it was no show behind escapologists at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, but they've gone with the blinkers. They've removed the pacifiers. They've gone with blinkers. JP van der Merwe runs. If she comes back to a better Gauteng and KZN form, it wouldn't surprise me to see her make a winning debut there. And then in race number 8, I think a lot of respect for number 1, Glass Shoes. She is the 3-1 favorite in a wide open betting market, carrying 61 kgs. I think one has to keep an eye on her, the daughter of Vercingetorix. So a tough race, but Splash of Green is the horse that keeps me interested, having a first run in Gqeberha for Gavin Smith. And then we move along to race number 9. It's over 1,200 meters. It's a merit-rated 72 handicap. How are they betting here to close things off at Fairview on the turf? Horses in single figures. Number 4, Crusador, 5-1. 5, Coastal Part, is at 11-2. 6 at 8-1. 10, Drop of Time at 11-2. 11, Joyous Jubilee, is my value bet in the race, and I took down the betting. She is in double figures at 10-1. 12, Lang's Power, is a 7-1 shot, and then it's 10-1 and better, the balance. Well, I've took down the betting for Joyous Jubilee, the Australian import, because she's had 3 runs in Gqeberha, and when she won her maiden at a penultimate start over 1,300 meters, that follow-up run was a very good effort, finishing 4th. That was over 1,200 meters. As Grant, apologies that we lost you there, champ, but you are back with us. I'm already in race number 9. I just want you to just recap, your selections. We were on race number 7, and I mentioned, do you have something lurking there for us in race number 7?
Yeah, Dees, I like this horse, Rose of Bayou. I think with Louis back on, last run up the straight was too short for her, but back over the 1,400 meters, I really like Rose of Bayou. A good value bet on the day for me, that one. Rose of Bayou.
Rose of Bayou, the value, that's at 8-1. Grant may have found one there. And then we're going to page back to race number 8, which is over 1,000 meters. The 8th race, I made a very interesting runner here, Grant. I don't know if you're going to agree. I've chatted to you before when horses having their first run in the province and how some of them take to it more than others. But number 4, Splash of Green, she's tumbled down in the ratings. She's got Gauteng form. She's got KZN form. They've gone with blinkers. Would it surprise you if she comes up and wins first time out?
Actually, it will. The trip is it's definitely the worst race on the card and the most difficult. I thought this filly, Quick Count, could probably win it. She's holding a little bit of form. That second to Princess Dev was good enough to win a race like this, but the punters have to go as wide as possible. Splash of Green is definitely inclusion, but please, punters, go wide.
Yeah, I also like number 7, Quick Count there, Grant. And then on to the lucky last in race number 9. I found some value here, Grant, when I gave the betting. This horse, does it surprise you that this horse 11, Joyous Jubilee, is trading at 10-1 after that good post maiden?
Yeah, that is a bit of a surprise. He's a hell of a nice horse, this, in a tricky kind of a race. He should be in single figures, there's no doubt. He is in my first 3 selections. I have gone for this horse, Cruzador, who's been running against far, far stronger. That run to Al Qasim in a merit rate at 80 is good enough to win a race like this. And there was some talk for the 5 horse here, Coastal Path. So those 2, plus the one that you found, Joyous Jubilee, that should get you through.
Yeah, that's a nice a swinger and maybe even an exacta there to close things off. 5 and 10 box. Grant, what have you given us for the suggested bets, which will come up on screen now?
D is my best bet, race 2, number 1, and we danced. My value bet was in race 7, number 4, Rose of Bayou, and my suggested win multiple is race 2, number 1, and we danced, onto race 4, number 3, Barak.
And throughout the race meeting, just chatting to Grant, he's found some nice horses at some decent prices. Grant, firstly, apologies for that break-in transmission. It's out of our hands. It was a technical issue, but we managed to get you back on the line. And thank you very much for your time, as always.
100% D. Thank you very much, and good luck to the punters.
All the best to Grant Paddock. It was always a pleasure having him as our expert and our analyst for our racing from Gqeberha, Fairview on the poly track and the turf. Well, we're on the turf on a Friday, the 10th of March, and I wish you well. Find all the winners, make a huge profit, and until we meet again from the entire team at Gallop TV and myself, Dees Danan, you take care.